Welcome to preciousmetalsinvesting.com. My name is Ted Sudol, and I have the pleasure of having as my guest today Paul Mladjenovic. Paul is the author of Precious Metals Investing for Dummies. He also has come out with a new book, High Level Investing for Dummies. Welcome, Paul.
Good to be back on the program. And you know, you and I, we always want to make sure that people are into things of value and as a measure of safety and worth. And the interesting thing is that, you know, I've heard, you know, in recent months, people telling me that one of the good measures of the economy is that there's been like record auto sales in 2015. But people have to understand that, you know, 99 times out of 100, the precursor to a bubble, or what helps make it a bubble, is the artificial stimulus of debt. All right. And the interesting thing is that the number one reason why so many auto loans were sold last year, typically autos get sold when the economy is in good shape. I mean, in prior, you know, in conventional economies in the past, when there's a bull market, when the economy is doing very well, people are much more apt to buy an automobile. You know, so usually it was a sign of being cyclical. High auto sales means the economy is in good shape, the consumer is in good shape, they're doing very well, and it's normally a positive sign. But again, we are in abnormal and dangerous times. And when you take a look under the hood, hey, you like that? Under the hood of the all auto loans being sold last year, what you end up finding out is there's been an explosion of basically low quality debt. In other words, subprime. To think of it as the way subprime was the Achilles heel for the housing market, subprime, in other words, below quality loans, have been the fuel for all those automobiles being sold. In other words, if I want an automobile and I get great terms, and I can acquire an automobile, well, that might be good for me. But part of the act of acquiring an automobile with debt is to maintain the debt. And now you have a situation where a lot of people are struggling. They say that, you know, defaults on auto loans have been, you know, just going through the roof, basically. And the other side of it is that if there's going to be a huge credit crisis in the automobile industry, that means that what looked like a great sign, you know, millions of automobiles being sold, sign of health, economic health? No, it's a sign of debt. It's a sign of inflation, monetary, well, you know, in other words, excessively injecting into this asset area, automobiles, you know, debt. And you know what the interesting thing is that normally years ago, it was typical that when somebody bought an auto loan, it was like a 3-month loan.
Right.
I mean, three-year loan, like 36 months, give or take, right? Maybe you had a lease where it was like a 24-month lease, a 36-month lease, whatever, you know, etc. But now you have it. Ted, it's amazing. Now they're having loans where people can have an 84-month loan, you know, on an automobile. You know, and in other words, things like this just warp a market tremendously. You get one good metric, millions of automobiles sold, but now you've laid down the groundwork for some real devastation in this area. I mean, there are going to be lots of problems. People are going to be pushed into financial difficulty due to these loans. And let's face it, automobiles, I mean, 7-year. You know, in other words, like I'm the type, me and the missus are the type, we buy an automobile, typically without a loan, you know, and we hold it for, you know, an extended period of time. Right. We have cars now from 2006. We don't buy fancy things because it's a depreciating asset. Mm-hmm. But in other words, these people have debt here, but the automobile is losing value. So even if later on they decide that they can't afford it and they sell the car, they have to sell it at a deeply depreciated price, and whatever's left, will they be able to mitigate all the debt that's going to be sitting there for months on end? I don't know. I just see this being like another catastrophe on an economy that has multiple catastrophes and difficulties spotting the landscape.
Right. And although we've been talking about auto loans, I think you brought up a very important point. That sometimes people pay attention to one statistic when behind that statistic there are a lot of other worrying aspects of what that statistic really means.
Exactly. So people have to dig a little bit deeper with all this, you know, read multiple sources and go to places like preciousmetalsinvesting.com for, you know, just to be able to diversify your sources of income and stay on top of what's going on so that you're okay.
Well, thank you, Paul, for being with us today at preciousmetalsinvesting.com. I would urge all of the viewers here to go to Paul's resource page here at the website and check out some of the other services that Paul offers, as well as picking up a copy of his new book, High Level Investing for Dummies.
Yeah. You know what? The next bubble might be bicycle loans later on. That's a possibility. So we'll keep an eye out for this one as well. Anyway, thanks for staying tuned. See you next time.
Thank you.